Welcome into another episode of House of Horns. My name is Victor Corona, aka Victor Producer, and joining me as always is Gilbert Manzano, who does it for MMQB. Gilbert, the Rams outlast the Seahawks in overtime 26-20. That was a great finish, but there's a lot to talk about with this game. The Rams win their third straight, now are second place in the NFC West. Just give me your quick thoughts on this game, or just where the Rams sit now.
Yeah, that was a big time victory, an exciting victory, a chaotic victory, a little bit of everything. Cam Kinch's getting the two interceptions, but then obviously they got forgotten because then the Seahawks come and get the tie there, and then Demarcus Robinson, who came alive after Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup showed up on the field. But hey, Puka Nakua wasn't even on the field when Demarcus
Yep.
Robinson had that big time victory touchdown right there. So a lot to unpack here. Obviously, I can't stick around too long because I got Sunday Night Football, and this game went a little longer than expected. But I'm sure Rams fans are excited. Only half a game behind the Arizona Cardinals, who handled the Chicago Bears in this very exciting NFC West race here. I know that they don't have like the Lions, like who are 7-1 or a team that just dominate, but this is why it's better, a wide open race. And the Rams, that's my final point on my initial thoughts here. I don't have a lot because it was a chaotic game. That defense, man, shout out to that defensive front, the secondary. Like, this is a different defense. I know they gave up that last drive there, but man, I did not see this coming maybe a month ago.
Yeah, I mean, and as we talked about, I mean, the bye really did them well now. They've now won 3 straight games after the bye. Just looking at this game, it looked like they were gonna give this game away, Gilbert. I mean, the offense honestly didn't do much. I mean, they almost gave that game away, and as you pointed out, that defense, 3 forcing 3 interceptions. Jalen McCullough, again,
Yeah.
a 4th interception now in 5 games. You have, Cam Kitchens with 2 interceptions and the one that he returned. I mean, and then also they got 8 sacks, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think they ended up with 8 sacks in this game as
They
well.
saw 7. I could be wrong though.
Seven sacks in the game. I mean, just outstanding effort by the defense. I mean, I can't say enough about the defense, especially when they got in the red zone. It seemed like they kept the Seahawks at bay. I know there was a lot of criticism towards Mike McDonald about why he went for it on fourth down there. But
Yeah.
that was the right decision, Gilbert, because either way, let's say they kicked the field goal there, the Rams still came back down and scored the touchdown. So and one of the things I'll point out, Gilbert, I don't know how much you saw of the overtime, but shout out to Sean McVay because he struggled against Mike McDonald in this game. But in overtime, he finally made the adjustment. He started rolling Matthew Stafford out, and on that last play, he deked them there, and he got that final that throw to Demarcus Robinson. So great play calling in overtime by Sean McVay, and it was kind of a kind of like a role reversal of what we saw in the first game against the Lions when they lost in overtime as well,
Yeah.
Gilbert. If you remember, the Lions just ran the ball on them, and then in this game, the Seahawks almost started making that script again, but then they were able to get JSN open, and then in the fourth down, the defense just came up big on third and fourth down on both of those stances there. So big shout out to the defense, Gilbert.
Yeah, I'm with you on Mike McDonald going for it, especially at that you're that close. And then also, like, if you settle for a field goal, I forget how far the range was. They weren't even there. It would have been a far field goal anyway. So say you miss it, you give them good field position. Say you get it, that doesn't end the game. Maybe you give Stafford still the opportunity to win the game with a touchdown. So I think at that point you definitely go for it. And they didn't get it, and that's big ups to the Rams defense up front. Again, I am so impressed with this defense where people wanted, Chris Shula, maybe, I don't know if I should say fired, but they wanted maybe, or they were at least criticizing the guy. Okay, maybe he's not ready for the moment. And after the bye week, that front came alive. It went from being cool pressure, they're getting pressure, good little push there, to game changing plays, a stop right there on fourth down, to the secondary now making game changing plays. So that defense definitely won that game. But you're right, Victor, Sean McVay made up for it because sometimes it's about timing, knowing when to pick your moments to go deep. And right there, people thought they're going to cruise there for the field goal. And okay, there you go. Just keep going down the field and march and get your field goal. and you don't want to risk it. Sometimes you get a missed field goal, and then it's kind of like, oh, okay, why did we settle here? A lot of teams sit on the ball, they get too conservative. Not Sean McVay. He knew an opportunity there to adjust and make that deep shot. Obviously, Stafford capitalized going to his left and finding Demarcus Robinson down the field, and that wasn't even an easy catch either. He had to
Yeah.
get with the one hand there to bring it in, but yeah, what a chaotic game. And I know Puka Nakua was the ejection was a long time ago. Again, you could have easily lost that game there. Even Ernest Jones was having a good day against his team for a revenge game there, but they pulled it out, and they're 4-4. They're at 500 again.
Yeah, and I'll say this: Mike McDonald had a great game plan against this Rams offense. I mean, they couldn't get anything going. The running game, and then offensively, as you talked about, Puka Nakua gets ejected in the second quarter, and I think that kind of changed things for McVay. And I think he had a little. They came. I thought, in that second quarter, I thought they almost gave away this game, Gilbert, late in the second quarter, where the Seahawks scored twice in a matter of 2 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, here we go again!" Like, it's looking like the same old Rams. And they came out in the third quarter. They made some adjustments, and they got the lead back. And I just felt like in the fourth quarter they just tried to cruise to a win. And I mean, in the fourth quarter, before that last possession, Gilbert, they ran 9 plays for 11 yards and 0 first downs. I mean, the defense bailed them out in this game. And sometimes you're going to need those. I just didn't think this defense was capable of that, but they took advantage of that bad offensive line. And kudos to, as you said, to Shula there, to Chris Shula. They did a great job. And yeah, I mean, they deserve, the defense won this game for the Rams. And I get it. I mean, there needs to be some improvement here from the Rams offense, but a great win. You take a win, and because they haven't played well on the road, and so this was good to see them. A win is a win, as people say, Gilbert.
Yeah, earlier in the season when you had guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba go off, it was too much to overcome. But now that the Rams are making game-changing plays offensively, momentum changing plays, obviously with the 7 sacks, the 3 interceptions, the pick six, like those are the type of plays that win you games there. So yeah, you could afford giving up. It's a lot of yards, 180 yards and 2 touchdowns to Jackson Smith and Jigba, but now you're doing those other game-changing plays to kind of even that out. And you're right, Victor. I think after the Cam Kitchens pick six for 103 yards there, that's wild to think about. It felt like the team wanted to lean on that for the victory. Okay, cool. We got that big play. Let's just
Hmm.
kind of, go home and leave Seattle with the victory here. And that opened up opportunity for the Seahawks to come back. And Geno Smith, man, he was in his head there after giving that also another interception to Cam Kitchens in the red zone. You had all these opportunities to put it away, and he kept hanging and hanging. And that's the one thing about Geno Smith. He has a lot of mistakes, but when he gets in a heater, he's pretty good. He knows how to bring a team back
Yeah.
there. But he does have a lot of flaws there with the interceptions and the boneheaded mistakes there. But yeah, it seemed like they were just trying to lean on those interceptions from Cam Kitchens and try to just get home, get on the plane, get that victory. But that's the thing about having Matthew Stafford on your side. Usually, when the game is still in the fourth quarter, pretty tight, overtime, that's when it pays to have a quarterback like that to help you out. So, yeah, they got the ball back, fourth down, a stop there, and then the touchdown for Robinson there.
Yeah, and that was huge. I mean, and it just leads to more things here for the Rams now. I thought that fourth down conversion, I mean, that could have probably ended their season. I mean, I know we're still halfway through the season, but that fourth down play, I mean, I think we're gonna look back, and might have continued their season. And now they're in second place, as you talked about. So that was such a big play, and it came from the defense. So shout out to the defense again. I just want to get through these comments, Gilbert, and then I just want your final thoughts. I know you got to go cover Sunday Night Football. Deborah Salgado says, for a while, Geno Smith was a Ram player of the game. Tough, ugly win, but a lot of good talk about. But a lot of good to talk about. But I'll take the 103-yard pick six, run the division. James Wheelock's having a victory beer. He's saying, all good things, says the Hawks are who we thought they were, overachieving by playing bad teams in the beginning. James Wheelock says, I predicted Demarcus Robinson would be the hero on another podcast. You should let us know on here. We
Yeah, how
we
about
want your
that?
opinion on here as well. Daniel Keldron says that was a close to an L. D Rob reminds me of D Rob reminds me just freaking catches touchdowns. Um, Daniel Keller versus the defensive player of the rookie of the year, no doubt. And Fish with 3 sacks today. That was awesome too. James Wheelock, clutch defensive stop on 4th down. Kitchens with the game ball, of course. He's of course our he's probably gonna get our 12 pack of beer. All good things says McCullough and Kitchen looks promising. And then 2 more here from James Wheelock. Rams got to finish that play when there is a flag. And then last one, remember, did I say Jim the Marcus Robinson was underrated? So yeah, Gilbert, just give me your final thoughts, and then what this does now, what this sets up for the Rams going forward.
Yeah, I wrote about this, and people here won't like it, but I called the Cardinals the best team in the NFC West, and that's not to say they're gonna win the NFC West, but let's look at we're at the halfway point. Let's look at it.
Yes.
They beat the 49ers, they beat the Rams, and you could scream at me all you want about those teams being injured when they played the Cardinals, but they handled business.
Hmm.
They beat down the Bears when the Seahawks and the Rams were in a dogfight. They were cruising. They went to Miami and handled business in Miami. They beat a very good Chargers team, a Chargers team that just pummeled the Browns. So, and then look at their schedule. They played the Lions, the Packers, the Buffalo Bills, the Commanders. That was a difficult nine games for the Cardinals, and to become out 5-4 and leading the division, I'm gonna call them the best team in the NFC West, and people here know that I've been high on the Cardinals. Now, that's not me saying they're gonna win the NFC West because this Rams team is different. That defense is coming alive. Hopefully, Puka Nacua learns from that mistake there, a little bit of a young mistake there to fall for the okey doke there, where you hit the person last, you get ejected. So if Puka Nacua is healthy and playing, they should be okay. We know this team is definitely has a lot of heart, a lot of fight with Matthew Stafford. You have a good coach in Sean McVay. And then the 49ers, like, they had a slow start. They're going to get healthy with maybe McCaffrey back. But I still haven't, like, even if you want me to say who's been the best team to order here, nobody's asking. But from
Hmm.
the first 9 weeks, it's definitely the Cardinals, the Rams, the 49ers third, and then the Seahawks fourth there. I think they're frauds there. And they showed it today for me. But they won't go away. It's going to be a tight four-team race here. But the 49ers, the thing that kind of hangs in that mystery box there, they could turn it on very quickly if they get healthy. But they haven't shown it to me in the first half. So that's where I stand there with the NFC West. I still lean more of the Rams and the 49ers maybe win that division because we've seen it. That's the easy answer. But I'm gonna give the Cardinals a lot of love for what they did today.
Yeah, and then part of it too, Gilbert. I was just checking the schedule. I mean, the Rams finished with the Cardinals at home and the Seahawks the last 2 games. So, I mean, we'll see. I think that division, the division might come down to those 2 games with the Rams at home.
Yeah,
So that is something to kind of keep an eye on. But I'm with you. I mean, we talked about the Cardinals being someone to look at as a threat this season, and after a slow start, they've gotten things together. I mean, that was an impressive win that they just had against the Bears. But we'll see. They got them on the road, as you said, for the Rams, and yeah, we'll see what happens. But Gilbert, thanks for your time. I know you got to go cover Sunday Night Football. I'll stay back here, answer some questions here from. We got a lot of viewers today because everybody's excited about this win for the Rams, and they get to 4-4 now, and they're in second place. So
yeah,
enjoy the game, Gilbert, and we'll see you on Wednesday for the preview for the next game, Gilbert.
yeah. Again, enjoy the victory, Rams fans, and don't be shy. Ask a lot of questions here for Victor to keep them busy. But I got to get going for this game here, Vikings and the Colts. I think it is. I'm losing track, but see you guys later.
All right. All right, there he goes. You guys are now stuck with me now for a couple minutes here. I just wanted to just reiterate what he talked about. I mean that he made some really Gilbert made some really good points, and I thought what the Rams showed in this game was really good. I liked everything that I saw, and especially from this defense. They really surprised me. Yeah, Matthew Stafford, 25 of 44 for 298 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kyron Williams, as I've said, if you give Kyron Williams more than 20 carries, they're gonna win games. 22 carries for 69 yards. Uh, you had Puka Nakua leave the game early. And I was a bit concerned about Puka Nakua because the injury came up on Friday, and I wasn't sure if he was gonna play or not. But it was good to see him out there before he got ejected, which sucks. I thought the defender there made he made the first move on him, and then he kind of reacted to it by throwing the punch. I thought they should have left him in the game, but the referees made that decision there. But Cooper Cup, 11 catches for 104 yards. Demarcus Robinson, six receptions for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, a really good game. I thought the other thing too was special teams. Getting that punt block was I knew that the new punter was gonna make an appearance here in terms of something might go bad. He held on to the ball there for a little bit too long. You have to be, especially on the road, you have to be aware of that, especially with the new punter. But shout out to the Rams, man. They won this game, and now they're in a good position now to win this division, as Gilbert said. It's I as he said, it's a three-team division now between the 49ers, the Rams, and the Cardinals. But I want to get to you guys' comments. Continue to let us know what you guys thought about what you like, what you didn't like, and I'll get you your comments on here. Michael Armenta, shout out to you. So it's good to see you on here. Rams defense showed up, although the secondary did give up some big plays. That continues to be a thing that it bothers me a little bit about this Rams defense is they continue to get big plays, especially when the defensive line continues to get pressure on the opposing offenses and they force a sack. You cannot be giving up big plays. JSN just kill them. Jackson and Jigba just continue to kill them in this game, and they got lucky that the that that Geno Smith continued to throw the ball their way to their defenders. So that I thought was a big thing for the Rams defense to be able to force 3 turnovers. DJ Fono says, "What's good, Ramley? Sorry I'm late, but what a win! Thanks to our defense. Yeah, and awesome that this was your birthday win. Happy birthday, DJ Fono. That was a really good. That was a really good. Uh, a really good play by the defense, and we've been criticizing this defense now for a while. I think outside of giving up the big plays, they came to play. They're the reasons why they won this game. Daniel Calderon, can we be better just to get our O line back? We got to be better at cornerback. And I thought one of the things that James Wheelock really brought up earlier was that was kind of frustrating was the fact that every time they jumped off sides, the defensive backs would stop playing and give up on the you got to play all the way through. You cannot just stop and think that hey, that they called the flag there, so it's probably coming back. You cannot think that way, and I thought that was huge because they kept going off sides, and then they kept getting killed in coverage there. So yeah, I just thought that was they need to be better. Since Williams has been back, Darius Williams has been back. They've been playing a lot better. So that's good to see. But you're right there, Daniel. They need to be better, especially at allowing the big play because they can't seem to not allow big plays. DJ Fono says my birthday was yesterday, but unfortunately I've been sick, so I was stuck at home all day. But this made my birthday weekend. That's awesome. Hey, that was a good win, and you were able to watch it at home. Delver says good call on your AZ so far in Arizona Cardinals for Gilberto. Yes, I'm surprised. Yeah, so you're gonna get those games, surprise teams, and the Cardinals are one of those. And he was on it. Um, Brian Smith says, "Scary game. Our secondary needs to get better. They really do. I asked Gilbert this during our preview that they really need to go out and see who's out there to try to get some cornerback help and some linebacker help because this goes to what you're saying here, Brian Smith. Ernest Jones had no impact. He almost had an interception there. Luckily, he dropped it. Luckily he has linebacker hands and he dropped it. So, yeah, they need some linebacker help and they need some defensive back help. Willie Bowen says, "LA Rams win the game, horns up. That was a really big win. Now they won 3 in a row, and they're flip. They're doing the same thing they did last year after the bye week. Last season, after the bye week, they won 7 of 8 games and got into the playoffs. Now, if they can continue to do that, they'll be in good position to make a run at this division. All good things. Says the issue with McVay is that sometimes he gets into this prevent scheme, game scheme when they're up and lets the foot off the pedal and gets in trouble. Yeah, that was my biggest thing in the fourth quarter. That the offense not doing much. I think they were the reason why the Seahawks got back in this game. He played too much of like prevent. I'm just gonna try to win this game, and you can't do that. You have to be a little bit aggressive. But as I said, I give him credit too because he made the adjustment. He saw that they were putting pressure on Matthew Stafford, and what did he do in the overtime? He started getting them on bootlegs. He started making them roll out, and that's what allowed them to win this game and get that touchdown late in the game. So that was awesome to see. DJ Fono says free Puka. Yeah, that was a bit of a soft call there. I really didn't like it just because he was just reacting. I mean, if you're gonna do that, you gotta call it the other way. You can. It always is the guy that ends up being the one that retaliates is the one that gets called there, and which sucks. Mike Armenta says D-Rob balled out. I also want to give a shout out to Tyler Johnson because if you guys remember in overtime, there was that throw by Matthew Stafford that looked like it was about to get intercepted. It looked like what was the cornerback? I think it was either Witherspoon or the other one. I forget. He had a chance to pick it off there, but he waited for the ball, and Tyler Johnson went up there and got it. So yeah, that was huge by Tyler Johnson because if he doesn't make that play, it probably gets intercepted, and we're talking about a different game here. Payo time, good to hear from you, Payo time. Let's go. Congratulations, Ramily. Brian Smith says, "How bad is Haverstein's injury? I don't know. I'll have to check out the post game script there and see what. But usually, um, they don't. They McVay and them. They're not gonna let us know much after the post game just because we won't probably hear about it. We won't know till Wednesday when the first injury report comes out. So I'd stay locked into that just to find out what how severely the injury is. Maybe he'll let us know Monday with reporters when he has the conference call with the B reporters on Monday. Uh, I think it's via Zoom call. James Wheelock says I was worried about the new punter. Yeah, so was I, and um, that was something that I kind of circled as something that I wanted to look at, and sure enough, it came at a bad time, and you cannot put your punter in that situation. I would have liked for them to put a bunch of more guys to block there, just because when you have a new punter there, as well as having the that environment in Seattle can be kind of scary for someone who's punting for the first time in a NFL game. That could be tough. So I just thought they should have added a couple more blockers there to help out, but it happens. I just That's just the way it is. Willie Bowen says secondary should not get too relaxed in games, and I'm with you, Bowen. Willie. The secondary. I really like how they played in this game, but yeah, the big plays continue to kill this team. Brian Smith, Puka wanted more knee res, so he threw that punch. Yeah, that could have been something he did. I mean, but I'm glad he got a little bit of rest. They got this win for him, and now he doesn't feel bad because you never want to be a reason why you lose a game. They really needed him in this game, and some of the other guys stepped up, so that was good to see. That's always good to see players step up in this time of a game, especially a division game. Guys like I said, Tyler Johnson, Demarcus Robinson, huge games, and it's good to see Demarcus Robinson, as Gilbert mentioned. Good to see him playing well again. He really missed Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua out there, and he now can play that second or third guy. That's what he's really good at. And I even saw Patrick Mahomes tweeted out something in support of Demarcus Robinson. He started his career with the Chiefs, so it's good to see that he's getting a lot of love right now, and rightfully so. I mean, he's got what, 4 touchdowns in the last 2 games. Jesse Bonilla says defense is starting to become nasty. That D line is going to be a problem. And yeah, man, like they just continue to come outside of uh the offsides penalties. This D line was a problem. I Everybody contributed, everybody along the even you had you had that whole defensive line is young. This is how you build it. This is why they didn't go out and spend any money on that defensive line, because they're gonna draft and develop it. You just wait now that they're starting to play well. You just hope that Les Need and that front office go out there and get them some help at the linebacker spot. I thought Omar Speights came up huge on that fourth down. He's the one that made that tackle. They need to continue to develop, but they do. So they need veteran guys to come in. We'll see whether or not Trey Davis gets traded at the because he hasn't played in 4 games, or maybe they're just letting him rest, getting him healthy, and he'll be ready to go in a couple weeks. Brian Smith said the punter held onto the ball too long all game. Surprise, Seattle blocked it once. Yeah, and that I kept looking at that, and yeah, I didn't like that. And hopefully, like I said, going forward, hopefully Ethan is back next week. It looks like it was an illness, so he should be back, but they really missed him in this game. Willie Bone, why didn't Jordan Whittington didn't play? I think his shoulder injury is still bothering him. I think they want to they want to make sure that he gets healthy, and he'll be back ready to go, as Brian Smith said. And I'm with you. Spates might not ain't the answer, but they need to go get a veteran guy out there. So we'll see. Jim Everett says Rams Nation. McVay adjustment were on point, especially in overtime. I really like what he did. That was awesome. Uh, it says Underground West says congrats to the Rams for beating the Seattle Chickens. That's awesome. And Jim Everett, you're right. Young and Burrs are elite. They've been awesome to see that. Willie Bowen says they're going 12-4. We'll see. I mean, that's they went 7 of 8 last season after the bye. We'll see what they can do. Which corners are available for the Rams to go get at this point? I think we'll talk about it. Well, actually, we'll know by Tuesday because the trade deadline is on Tuesday. We'll see what's available out there. I honestly couldn't tell you who's available out there. I know as more teams if I just don't think they're gonna go after big name guys. I think they just need a veteran guy to come in and help out. Michael Armenta says Gino thought he was off the hook with no AD 99, but no, the youngster showed up. How long is Tyler Higbee will be out? I don't. Hawkinson for the Vikings just came back and he had a similar injury, and he was injured like 2 months before. So I would say he's either going to be back. We'll start hearing about him late November, early December. I think would be what's up. Won't know when Tyler Higbee will be back. BC says go Rams, uh, and then yeah, it's good to hear from you guys. It's awesome. Gilbert had to go a little early to just because the game went pretty long, but love hearing from you guys. But it's a great win for the Rams now. They're set up. They're at 4-4. They sit second in the division. They have the tiebreaker over the 49ers, so they're in good position now. They're 2-1 in the division. You got to win your division games going forward. They're done with the NFC North. And now they need to take care of business at home, and you need to win your games. They have a really good schedule coming up. You have the Dolphins, who just lost. They might trade some guys away because their season might be over now. It's going to be a tough sledding in the AFC now. And then you get the New England Patriots as well. You need to start taking care of business. And awesome. Thank you guys for joining me today. Brian Smith, good to hear from you. Good to hear from everybody. As LaGray Davis says the Rams defense is a beast. Go Rams. They played a great game. They deserve the win. They get my 12-pack of beer for this game. That defense, Cam Kitchens, 103-yard interception return was awesome. And Jalen McCullough, I kept saying, like, I don't understand in that game against, I think it was against the Raiders, he had 2 interceptions and he only played 18 snaps. You need to give that man more snaps going forward because it seems like whenever he's on in the game, he ends up with the turnover. Give him more plays out there, and especially if he continues to come up with turnovers. So a big win for the Rams now. As I said, uh, now things, they're back to 500 for the first time since they were 0-0 at the beginning of the season. And like I said, now you have a good momentum. You've won 3 in a row. You have winnable games coming up the next couple of weeks. So take care of business now. You get some home games. You get a Monday night game against the Dolphins. Yes, you're going to go on the road against some teams here outside of the conference, but you need to start taking care of business, and you'll be in good position come the end of the season. As I said, I think this division is going to come down to the wired, and the Rams get 2 home games against divisional opponents in the Cardinals and the Seahawks. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. But a great win, like I said, we're gonna look back at that 4th and 1 stop by the defense, and we're gonna say, "Hey, that was the turning point for in a catalyst for the Rams to make the playoffs." But we'll see what happens. Henry Camacho, good to hear from you. We haven't heard from you in a while, so it's good to see you here on the comments. These are November games. They're the ones that count. Hopefully, Havison's okay. Luckily, Puka's ejection didn't cause him to lose. LA is for winners. Yes, it's been all wins lately for LA here. So Rams have a ton of INTs, it seems. Yeah, they do. Yep. And Brian Smith says Arizona looked good today. Yeah, that's going to be, it feels like it's going to, the 49ers are going to have something to say about this division. They're not going to go away. They usually play well. Um, they usually play well, after the midpoint of the season. And we'll see if the Cardinals stay in it. I mean, so far, so good. They're playing really well. They're atop the division because they have that tiebreaker over the Rams and the 49ers. But yeah, like we have original perspective out here. Rams win, defense looking better, but linebackers and safeties still network. I agree with you. They really do. We'll see what happens. We have Michael Armenta, congrats to the Dodgers, go Rams, Lakers, and Kings. LA teams are well represented right now. It's been a good week here, late, and even the Chargers are winning. So Easy says, "Compa, it seems like we got Florida versions of Fizz and Verse tonight. They balled out and helped us out in an ugly game big time." So yeah, Fizz was big. There's a reason. I know a lot of people were critical of the Rams trading up, but they knew what they had. I talked about it before the draft. Fizz was somebody that I really like. I really like for the Rams, and I'm glad they were able to go and draft him. Yeah, they gave up a 2nd-round pick next season, but it's already looking like a great trade. So I'm with it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it just feels like the defensive rookie of the year is going to come down to those 2 guys, right? And honestly, it doesn't matter which one of the 2 wins it, but yeah, it's going to come down to Verse, especially with all the pressures they're getting and the sacks. It's turning out to be a really good young crew there with Byron Young alongside that defensive line. Um, Dylan Lipper says Seahawks are frauds, and that's what Giller's been saying, and we talked about it. They won their first 3 games now. They've lost 4 or 5, I believe. So, yeah, and it's going to take a little bit of time for Mike McDonald to get his guys in there. But I thought he had a great game plan. Their offensive line is still. I don't understand why Schneider is still the a GM there because one thing he's done really bad is draft offensive linemen, and good on the Rams because they took advantage of it tonight. And I thought that was huge of them. They really took advantage of that offensive line because that offensive line was really bad. Uh, and then Brian Smith said Fizz looking better by the week. He has. He's starting to. My only thing is his run defense. He kind of struggles there a little bit, but when it comes to rushing the passer, he's great at it. Easy says that flag on a kilo for PI was horrible. Yeah, I agree. But the Rams took advantage of some calls there that went their way. Um, I just yeah, you're asking when do we start holding these refs accountable? I thought they called a good game on both ways. That was a makeup call on that Aquila PI. I'm with you. It was a makeup call, Brian. I'm with you. Yeah, that was a makeup call. They missed a couple calls there, and so they went both ways. I That's why I'm unless it's really bad, guys. I'm not gonna. I don't like blaming the refs. That's just the way it goes sometimes. The refs are part of the game, and unless they put out robots out there, they're not going to be they're going to continue to be part of the game. But guys, I just want to say thank you guys. This was great. um Gilbert had to leave to go do the post game show, so this was awesome. Love all the comments, love all the feedbacks. If you're catching us on the replay, make sure you leave your comments. We'll try to respond to them. But a great win for the Rams. They're now 4-4, as I said, and things are looking up. They now um, they're right there in the division. As I kept saying when we got to the bye week, they just need to get above water. Now they're right there. They're right above water. They get a couple more wins. They're in a good position to win this division. So awesome, great job by you guys. I love the feedback as once again. And if this is the first time checking out the show, hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. We've been building this channel little by little, and it's all thanks to you guys. It's awesome to see how the community is continuing to grow. But shout out to everybody who was in the comments. I really enjoy talking to you guys. You guys are awesome. I know you guys got on us for being a little negative, but there wasn't a lot of positivity going into that bye week. And as I said, once they get some of these guys healthy, we'll see the real Rams, and we're starting to see that. So, yeah, it's great seeing talking to you guys. But enjoy this win, and then we'll be back on Wednesday to talk to you guys for the preview. Actually, we might. No, it'll be Wednesday. We'll keep it a Wednesday because I know there's a Monday night game. But yeah, stay tuned. We'll be back Wednesday around either 5:30 or 6:30 for the pregame show. So make sure you join us then. But as for now, gotta go. As Gilbert likes to say, ya nos vamos. Pues vámonos.